Article 205 of the Indian Constitution deals with the process of handling supplementary, additional, or excess grants within a state's financial framework. Here's a breakdown of its key points. Insufficient allocation or unforeseen expenditure. If the amount allocated by a law, in accordance with Article 204, for a particular service in the current financial year is found to be inadequate, or if there's a need for additional expenditure on a new service not originally included in the annual financial statement, the governor is tasked with taking necessary actions. Excess expenditure. If during a financial year, spending exceeds the allocated amount for a particular service, the governor is required to inform the state legislature by presenting another statement indicating the estimated excess expenditure or by presenting a demand for covering such excess expenditure. Legislative oversight. The governor must present these matters before the House or Houses of the state legislature. The provisions of Articles 202, 203, and 204, which relate to the state's annual financial statement, expenditure, and demand for grants, respectively, also apply to these supplementary, additional, or excess grants. Appropriation of funds. The procedures outlined in Articles 202, 203, and 204 also apply to any laws enacted to authorize the appropriation of funds from the consolidated fund of the state to cover such supplementary, additional, or excess expenditures. In essence, Article 205 ensures transparency and accountability in the management of state finances by providing a framework for dealing with unforeseen or excess expenditures and ensuring proper authorization and appropriation of funds from the state's consolidated fund.
The Constitution of India. Part 6. The States. Chapter 3. The State Legislature. Procedure in Financial Matters. Article 205. Supplementary, additional or excess grants. 1. The Governor shall a. If the amount authorized by any law made in accordance with the provisions of Article 204 to be expended for a particular service for the current financial year is found to be insufficient for the purposes of that year, or when a need has arisen during the current financial year for supplementary or additional expenditure upon some new service not contemplated in the annual financial statement for that year, or b. If any money has been spent on any service during a financial year in excess of the amount granted for that service and for that year, cause to be laid before the House or the Houses of the Legislature of the state another statement showing the estimated amount of that expenditure, or cause to be presented to the Legislative Assembly of the state a demand for such excess, as the case may be. 2. The provisions of Articles 202, 203 and 204 shall have effect in relation to any such statement and expenditure or demand, and also to any law to be made authorizing the appropriation of monies out of the consolidated fund of the state to meet such expenditure or the grant in respect of such demand as they have effect in relation to the annual financial statement and the expenditure mentioned therein, or to a demand for a grant and the law to be made for the authorization of appropriation of monies out of the consolidated fund of the state to meet such expenditure or grant.